Welcome to another edition of Sound the Sirens. I'm your host, Thomas Orness, and with me today, I got my brother remotely from Iowa City. What's up, Michael?
What's going on?
We have
The new intro song is pretty sick.
yeah, I should have gone to audio degree or whatever, sound and engineering. Made that all by myself.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
all right.
So since like the news, we've been talking about basketball a lot. We might as well, because TJ like every other day for like the last 2 weeks has given us something to talk about. Might as
I know
well
it's been
catch
kind of
up.
a drought here the last 5 days. There hasn't been any huge recruit we've got.
Yeah, like every time we post a podcast, like 7 hours later, something else happens. So like it makes the other one outdated. So TJ's finally chilled out for us.
Yeah, so I think you're alluding to Eli King committing last week, kid out of Minneapolis. AAU teammates with Taman Lipsey. Just watching the few highlights he had on YouTube, kid looks really athletic. Looks like he can defend really well and take the ball to the hoop. So I think the combination of him and Taman Lipsey is definitely a bright young core, especially when you think about pairing them with Tyrese Hunter and Xavier Foster. I would say we're really piecing in some nice young players, and I think TJ has proven that he can be successful in the transfer market too. So we can always supplement transfers around a young core, and I think I don't know. It's really hard to find anything to complain about with what TJ's done, and I think Eli is going to fit in really well. It's nice having a local kid, less likely to go or leave. It's compared to like recruiting from the coast. I think Iowa's not the most exciting place to recruit to, especially when you're coming from California or Florida. But I mean, Minnesota to Iowa is it's a tropical destination compared to what they have to deal with up north. So I think Eli is going to be really good. I don't know when he'll start contributing significantly, but I think really athletic and has a lot of upside. So I think he's a 4-star kid, so it's really hard to
Yeah,
complain
like,
about
and
anything.
Taylor Epsy and Eli are teammates on AUs too. So it was a pretty smooth transition from, and Eli's brother was coached under TJ in South Dakota State too.
Oh,
So
I did not.
so we had a relationship coming into. So and TJ's done exactly what he said he's going to do. He's going to suffocate the Midwest, and it's literally taken him 3 weeks to. It's literally it's reminiscent of Fred's first couple weeks. It's not, we didn't get the Royce White transfer obviously because like times are different, and Royce White was like the second best recruit in Minnesota history, and like for Minnesota University, and like but you can't complain. Like TJ got a couple softballs, like the kid who can shoot it from Washington State. He obviously needed shooting it to get out of the gate. He got shooting. We got another rim protector with the Denver kid,
Robert Jones.
Robert Jones, and
I mean, Gabe Kalsher, senior leader, can defend
he's
and hopefully
he's like
shoot the ball. So
He's like the Chris Babb. He's like
Chris Babnazlong, yeah, I think
yeah.
he.
And like I think Eli and Taylor Lipsey are probably like projecting down the road will be like Monte and Matt Thomas, hopefully. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's those are pretty big shoes to fill, but I mean, if they're 75% of what they had as a career at Iowa State, I'd be pretty happy. But also, I think it also goes a long way with having recruiting two kids that already know each other that are friends can only help chemistry and kind of the camaraderie of the team. I think you could look at the last 4 or 5 years, and there's definitely been times where there was evident where we didn't get along that well as a team, and I think it's really hard to trust and play hard when you might not like the guy you're playing with. But I think that's a thing in the past, and I think they're going to come in, and I think in combination with all these transfers, I think the culture is going to be totally changed, and I think I'm just really excited to see what kind of style of play they do, or just see how TJ fits all these pieces together. And I don't know, I can just see Hilton rocking, and I think the team we're constructing for the next 2 or 3 years, Hilton is going to be a great pairing with the team we will have. So I think it's pretty hard to complain. Also of note, we did not get Cameron Fletcher, but I don't think after getting Tristan and Aruna, I don't think anyone was really banking on us getting Cameron, or Cameron, I believe. But I think Cameron and Tristan would have played the exact same position. So I don't think we're really losing. And I think, honestly, I think for next year's team, it's probably better because I think there's better fits we can fill with the transfer coming in next year. So I'm excited to see what TJ can do the next couple months. See if we can add one more transfer for next year. I know the Penn State kid was a name thrown around that he just entered the transfer portal last week.
Yeah, I think we had a Zoom call with him earlier this week, and I haven't really heard much since then. He's still like in the process, but
I think he averaged like 14 points a game for Penn State. So
yeah. My question to you is, I mean, what I think we need, best case scenario is like a light DeAndre Kane, come in and be the one, and then Tyrese Hunter be like the Monte Morris, just learn the ropes type deal, like 2013. That would be like the best case scenario for this last scholarship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think leadership at point guard is never a bad thing. I honestly am just banking on Tyrese being the real deal. I think physically he's way ahead of where Monte was when he came as a freshman. I mean, Monte was 145 pounds.
Yeah.
And really didn't shoot the ball super well. I mean, thankfully he had a great teacher in Fred to kind of fix his jump shot. And I mean, you can look what he's doing in the NBA now. I'd say he did a pretty good job, but I don't think that'd be a bad move. I'm excited to kind of see how Jaden Walker grows and see if he can kind of grow into that role of the backup point guard. But I think that's not a bad move. I think adding another shooting guard. I mean, you can't have too many shooters. I mean, getting CJ Freddick would be pretty sweet. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, he's going to Kentucky.
I think so.
That's like the
word on the street.
Yeah, the word on the street. CJ Frederick's like one of the most one of my favorite Iowa players watching.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He's really talented, and I hope him the best. I think that's what Kentucky has to do now is like get these players like screw over Iowa and like these like programs that find hidden gems, and then like teams like Kentucky swoop in. Who like he probably grew up a Kentucky fan, so like he of course he wants to get back to Kentucky.
And he's from Kentucky, so I mean that'd be a pretty logical move for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be exciting. I think with COVID restrictions loosening up, I think they'll have a full summer workout regimen. I think that'll be really crucial. Just trying to get. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that a lot of these kids have never met each other, so I think
they have a chance to hang out finally now.
Right. Exactly.
Practice facility, and that's like you had firsthand experience, like seeing how like working together can do to a program, like seeing Naz and George, who are always in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, Naz legitimately, he would work out before class, in the middle of the day, between classes, and then after practice.
Yeah,
and that was the year he was hurt.
That's a player that got all of his talent, like everything. He left it all out in the court.
Yeah, he could write a book about how to just maximize your potential. Because I mean, if you watch highlights of him coming in as a freshman, really struggled to shoot it, really, and then versus what he did as a senior. I mean, or even a sophomore. I mean, the jump from freshman to sophomore now is like.
Yeah, that was like he went from like making like I'm not sure exactly, but like less than 23s because like he had Tyrese McGee. He was playing behind Tyrese McGee, so like, and we did redshirt him, which I wish we could have.
But I mean, with the injury, it really didn't matter. But
learning from Fred Hoiberg and Tyrese McGee is not bad.
Not bad.
Probably top. Those three are probably top. Probably those three are probably in the top 5 shooting in Iowa State history.
Yeah, I mean that. Tyrese for another day, but Dedrick Willoughby, Jake Sullivan probably be.
Yeah, I would say top 5, top 7, but just like our lifetime for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'll be watching Tyrese McGee highlights when I'm 70 years old. So
he's my all-time favorite player watching. So Cameron Fletcher gone, going to Florida State. Did you know Florida State's the third ranked team in the like rankings for recruiting coming the next year?
Yeah, no, their coach is really good, but I mean, I don't know. Their style of play really never translate to March. They just have a lot of really tall, athletic guys that don't score super well. And when you get to March, like if you can't score, you're not going to win past the first 2 rounds. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish them
But
the best. Hopefully they'll make a run, but ACC is usually tough too. So I think they'll be tough. They're always tough, but I mean, they're never. I don't know. It seems like they've yet to make that jump to kind of the next level to competing for a national title.
yeah, like the ACC was really down this year, and I wonder what they'll do. Because like ACC is usually like they have all the media is always behind the ACC, and they just weren't very good this year. But I'm sure they'll bounce back. It'd be weird to see North Carolina without Roy Williams.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's kind of been lost in the shuffle. Where it'd be kind of weird when we get to November and watch North Carolina and not see Roy on the sidelines.
Yeah, like it was like the transfer portal stuff and like the name, image, and likeness. So he just like bounced. So
yeah, I mean, incredible career. He's coached under Dean Smith and then himself won a couple national titles. I mean, he's one of the all-time greats. And
finally, it's good for us. Finally, we can get some Iowa players, so you can't stop scooping up Iowa players.
Yeah, I mean, he's scooped up two of the best players in the last 20 years of the state of Iowa. So
and the friends went back in the day in Kansas.
Nick Collison,
Kirk Heinrich,
yeah.
Marcus Page, Harrison Barnes.
Right. Yeah, it's
like without what would I like the even if like they went to Iowa or Iowa State, like how like different would Iowa State and Iowa basketball be like if those players actually stayed home?
I don't know. I mean, the rumor was Kirk was going to come, but then we chose Tinsley instead.
Yeah, which not a bad, arguably the best point guard in history. That's a tough debate, but obviously,
yeah, I think that could be an episode itself where we really just dive into the Monte versus Tinsley. I mean,
or the misses.
Monte is the career; he's the true point guard stats to back him up, but I think just the eye test alone of watching Tinsley just absolutely torch anyone when he wanted to.
Yeah.
The thing is that is transcendent. Doesn't matter whatever era he would have landed in, he would have been able to do exactly what he wanted.
Ball handling translates everywhere. So we got the news that Jordan Bohan's come back for 6th year. He was in my age.
Yeah.
Same class as me.
Graduate high school in 2015, 2016.
16, yeah. And it's well. I mean, Iowa needed a shooter, so
yeah. I mean, it's really big for Iowa. I mean, they've lost a ton of pieces. To have some continuity for the last couple of years will be good for them. I mean, Jordan is a really good shooter, and I don't know.
He's going to shatter all the records.
Well, yeah, it's unfair. I mean, as far as records goes, unfair. He's playing.
There has to be an
5 full seasons.
Asterisk on it. There has to be an
asterisk.
But
yeah, I don't know. But I think Jordan, honestly, as much as I hate to say it, he's good for college basketball. He really kind of plays into this underdog role, and he really doesn't give a crap what anyone thinks of him. But he's a baller. Like when the lights are on, like in the toughest games, like that's when he plays the best. I mean, so hopefully he can just have a crappy game against us this year. But other than that, I don't know. I really kind of changed my tune on Jordan. Just watching his podcast has kind of given me
I'll push back on the big game things. He literally scored. If he didn't come back, he'd score 0 points.
Yeah, okay. But like, it wasn't his fault that Oregon murdered them.
Yeah, Oregon could have played.
That was Luka Garza's team. Luka Garza didn't play well either. So, I mean, Oregon came out and they shot like 70% from 3. So,
yeah.
That game was over like 12 minutes in. So
that was awesome.
Yeah. It was.
What made me think of the Jordan Bohannon thing is after I thought of that, it made me think what would happen if the COVID year happened like a couple, like 5-10 years ago? Like
if we could if there was a year you could pick COVID to happen as far as you getting an extra year of eligibility
for Iowa State basketball,
what year would that be?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over like what players
what year are you going to start with?
I'll start with Fred's second year with the Royce
Royce's
White.
team? Okay.
So let's just list the starting five. It would be Deontay Garrett, point guard. Chris Allen, shooting guard. Small forward, Chris Babb. Power forward, Royce White. Center, Melvin Ejim. The only difference here is really Deontay Garrett, which would have,
You would start Chris Allen over Scotty Christopherson?
yeah. Chris Allen's starting the Final Four. So
Yeah.
Chris Allen would have been way different if he
Scotty
wasn't playing point guard.
was one of the best shooters of the decade, though. So I don't know.
So listen to this bench: Jamie Vanderbeeken, Tyrese McGee, Scotty, obviously Scotty, Anthony Booker, Boo Boo.
And
That's a pretty good bench.
yeah, we would have been a 4 or 5 seed if we would have just Deontay Garrett alone.
Yeah, it would have been like a 3 or 4 seed, 5 seed. That team was just missing a point guard.
Yeah,
And
no,
it was rumored that Deontay Garrett was going to come back, redshirt his senior, like Fred's first year, to come back to play with this team, but he obviously didn't do that. It would have been crazy. So moving on to the next year, it would have been Corey Lucius, Chris Allen, Will Clyburn, George Niang, Melvin Ejim, Scotty Christopherson, Chris Babb, Anthony Booker, Naz.
Tyrus.
Yeah, Tyrus. I put
Say
Tyrus.
George?
Yeah, George at the 4. And I was gonna say Royce, but like he obviously was gonna leave
He went
anyways.
pro. Yeah, he could have played there.
So
that's crazy.
yeah, that would have been a sick team. Okay, moving on to the next year. DeAndre Kane, Chris Babb. This is probably,
I think this is the year that popped in my head.
This is the year that this year and a different year is an insane year. So I'll start. Point guard, obviously DeAndre Kane. Chris Babb, shooting guard. Small forward, Will Clyburn. Power forward, George Niang. Center, Melvin. Off the bench, Monte. The second guy off the bench, Tyrese McGee. Third guy off the bench, Dustin Hogue. Fourth guy off the bench, Naz. Fifth guy off the bench, Matt Thomas. Sixth guy off the bench, Anthony Booker.
Oh, we would have been so good.
You have
that team was a 3 seed as it was.
3 of the best shooters in ISU history on the bench.
You could just swap 5 in, 5 out.
So like the debate here is who starts at the 2? Is it Matt Thomas? Well, he's a freshman though. Tyrese McGee. Chris Babb still? Yeah.
Chris Babb would have to.
But I thought too. That's number 1, I think. By a wide margin, maybe. We'll keep going.
The thing is, hindsight's obviously fun. That roster probably pretty tough to get DeAndre Kane to come there, but
no, we'll do the next year. We're saying like if everyone's like Jordan Bohannon comes back.
Okay, all right.
Because like none of these players like left early.
So let's hear the next year then.
The next year might take the cake too. DeAndre Kane's come back. He's 25 years old at the point guard. We'll put Monte at the shooting guard. Small forward, Bryce Deshaun Jones. Power forward, Melvin Ejim. At the small ball, George Niang at the 5. 6th man, Naz Long. 7th man, Matt Thomas. 8th man, Dustin Hogue. 9th man, Nader. 10th man, Jamil.
Jamil McKay. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That team's probably better.
2 like, yeah, like the bench could be a damn good team. Naz, Matt, Justin Hogue, Nader, Jamil. That team that bench would have been in our last year's team by 60.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, moving on to the next year. Monte Morris, point guard. Naz Long, shooting guard. Okay, this is 2015, 2016. Okay. So Monte Morris, Naz Long, shooting guard. Small forward, Bryce John Jones. Power forward, George Niang. Center, Jamil McKay. 6th man, Matt Thomas. 7th man, Nader. Dustin Hogue. Deontay Burton.
Jamil. Jamil starting.
Yeah. And 10th man or fifth guy at the bench, Hollis Cook.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Should I keep going?
They're trying to think. I feel like
The 2013-2014 team.
yeah, that's nuts. I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, you give George, Nader, and Jamil an extra year to play with Monte and Matt their senior year. That would have been pretty tough as well.
Yeah. But DeAndre Kane, Will Clyburn, and Chris Babb, and that bench.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Matt Thomas, your 5th guy off your bench. That's
nuts. That would have been. I mean, I guess if you had to choose one of those teams, what would you go with?
Well, there's still like some crazy teams. Let's just say the Lindell's freshman year that instead of Jeff Beverly and Hans Brace, we'll have Deontay Burton, Cam Lard, Matt Thomas, Naz Long, Monte Morris, Donovan Jackson, Nick Babb, Solomon Young, Bowie off the bench. But that's starting 5. Deontay Burton, Cam Lard playing the same team.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Yeah. That's like my favorite like watch like
I feel like that team's ceiling is so high.
That team in Hilton.
Yeah. Gosh, that would have been crazy. That would have been so fun. Yeah, and then you have Lindell playing the 2 with Monte.
Yeah, Lindell off the bench. Yeah, I forgot to say Lindell. Yeah.
I mean, Lindell playing a year with Monte, I think, would have totally changed his career.
Yeah, that would have been. They would have been old though.
Yeah, and Monte went pro, so probably even if with this rule, he probably wouldn't have stayed. But
he played in the G League though for his first year.
It's true, and yeah, I don't know.
That was just a thought that I had at work at like the very last hour of work, and I was like, oh, this is so much fun to make.
Yeah, I mean, classic Iowa State fan. The what ifs can spiral out of control pretty quick, but.
Well, like the COVID thing, it just landed the worst year possible for Iowa State. None of our players that were going to graduate that were any good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would argue that it happened the best year because I mean, can you imagine
not having fans?
Those pre-existing teams without Hilton?
Like the Michigan game with Johnny Orr, like no one there.
No one in the fans?
Yeah.
Or no one in the stands? Are you kidding me?
That's and that's how you can't really envy Iowa. They didn't have any fans this year.
I know. They had 1 year with the year before they could have made a run in the tournament because they were playing their best ball at the end of when COVID hit. They were playing really well.
Yeah.
And then this year, obviously, it didn't turn out like they hoped. But
Luka Garza is literally their Marcus Fizer, and
yeah.
Won.
I mean, 20 years from now, Iowa fans are going to sit down like this and still talk about Luka Garza like we talk about Jamal Tinsley and Marcus Fizer. But
to be fair, we didn't have a full stadium for best football team ever by a mile last year.
Yeah, but they all came back.
I know, which is sick. Yeah. So that's literally what our football season is going to be if the 2013-14 team would have been if everyone came back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Yeah, the parallel there is spot on, I think. I don't know. I mean, you're having a bad day. Just go look at the 2 deep for offense and defense on our football team.
Yeah.
Your day's better.
For sure. Just put some Breece Hall highlights on, and
he was a true sophomore last year. People forget.
Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. I also had the idea of since the draft's going on, we do a 7-on-7 since we're not going to draft a whole team. We're going to draft a quarterback, running back, 3 receivers, a tight end, and an O lineman. And yeah, you can go first.
Are we doing a snake draft?
Where you pick twice or I pick twice or whatever.
Let's do that.
Sure. So
Oh boy. I mean,
one pick in the all-time Iowa State draft. You're on the clock, Michael. It's
you hear the sound effect?
no, this is when you pick it.
I want to pick that.
Yeah. So tell me when the pick's in, and then you'll say it. Oh, there's a lot.
Okay, I got mine.
All right. Hold on. Pick is in. All right.
So I think people are gonna be shocked with what my first pick, but I went through what I think the biggest gap in position, the best all time. I'm going with Charlie Kohler.
Charlie Kohler. Okay. You think he's
I think he's the best tight end of all time, and I think it's a pretty wide margin between. I'm looking at every other position group. I think there's a lot of ways you can go, but I don't think there's anyone better than Charlie. I think this year is going to
prove that.
Solidify that.
Okay. That shocked me. First pick overall for me, I'll pick Brock Purdy.
Let's see.
Pick is in for the second pick since I'm up. And running back, I'm going to pick Breece Hall.
Okay. All right. I think the sound effect it's getting old already.
All right.
Maybe just do it once and with these. I mean, don't we just go back to back now?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we'll do it. We're picking last. We'll pick uniforms.
All right. That's it.
All right.
So you did exactly what I knew you were going to do.
Yeah.
Next pick, Seneca Wallace.
Yep. I was thinking about him, but
yeah, I mean, you're going to look at my team. It's hard to argue going to Brock Purdy. I'm very happy with Seneca Wallace.
All right. So
and then
you go now. You go twice too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I get it.
One running back?
Yeah, one running back.
Okay. So then
it's 7-on-7.
I know. So my next pick, I'm going Allen Lazard.
Allen Lazard. All right. That's my next pick. Okay. The obvious answer for me now is probably Akeem Butler at receiver. And then I will pick that's tough. EJ Bibbs.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'd argue if EJ Bibbs had Brock Purdy throwing the ball, probably had a lot different career, but
yeah. Receiving wise, he was pretty darn good.
All right. Well, so now I have, let me think.
You got one running back, two receivers, and
I don't have a running back yet.
Yeah, I said that's what I said you got left.
Two receivers and then linemen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm trying to think. I got Allen. I'm gonna go. This is tough. A lot of ways you can go here. Oh. I'm gonna go. Gosh, this is tough. I don't know. All right. I'm gonna go with.
I think there's one obvious answer.
You think so?
Yeah, for running back.
I mean, I don't have to pick one. They already picked yours.
Yeah. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. You can pick one now.
So I'm trying to.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out my last two receivers.
Yeah.
Who would be best to pair with Allen? I'm gonna go Todd Blythe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So those are the two on the outside, and then I'm gonna go Just trying to go through all the receivers that were passed. Yeah, I think it's good. This is gonna be a controversial pick, I think, but just with my team, I think Jarvis West is my slot receiver.
All right. Seneca Wallace thrown to Jarvis West. So
Would have been pretty cool.
that was a video game. That'd be pretty darn sick. So you made my receivers one pretty tough. So
I mean, because like it's not like you're going through and just picking the best all time. Like you have to think about how these all fit together.
So since you basically took all the receivers, I'll put KO as my lineman.
Clutch assembly.
Clutch assembly as my
Yeah,
lineman.
arguably, I mean, the best offensive lineman of our generation, but
For sure. Played in the NFL for a long time.
I've got a better pick for that one.
Okay.
Do you have another pick?
Yep. So for receiver, Josh Lenz. Receiver. And then it's your pick, right?
Yep, my pick. I have two left, and then you have your last one.
Yep.
So running back, I got Troy Davis.
Yeah, that's an obvious one.
Crazy. David Montgomery wasn't picked. That's insane.
Yeah. 3 years ago, like if we had this draft.
I think honestly a better way to do it might have been just like a quarterback, running back, two receivers, and like a running back or receiver.
Just like draft the positions groups.
Well, I'm just saying like you could pick a third receiver or you could just have an extra running back. But I think this is how you would normally do it in 7-on-7. So I have my running back, got my three receivers, and then my offensive lineman is Bruce Reimers.
Bruce Reimers
played in the Super Bowl for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
And I have Iowa State Hall of Fame.
Humboldt County.
Proud Humboldt alum.
Yep. So my last receiver. This is tough. You have basically my favorite receivers. Like Hakeem's like obviously my favorite receiver to watch. But Todd Blythe growing up was a legend.
He's so good.
Like last receiver, I'll pick Lane Danielson.
Really?
Yeah. He was watching back the highlights. He was really good.
I hate that pick.
He was really good. He led our receiving for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gone Deshaunte Jones. You could have gone Trevor Ryan. You could have gone Xavier Hutchinson.
Yeah, Xavier has 1 year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lane Danielson. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you have to post the two rosters and have people vote. I think my team's better.
So Troy Davis, how's he fit nowadays? I mean, with our offensive line, he'd probably been a little better.
He fits all right, I think.
Breece Hall, Troy Davis will be like probably.
If Breece stays 4 years for sure, I think it'll be But also, like, if Breece goes off in the NFL and then leads the league in rushing yards some year, like, he'll probably surpass Troy. But I think it's just tough. And Troy, also, if Breece wins the Heisman.
That's true. But Troy Davis back then was when running backs were relevant, and he's got runner-up twice.
Yeah, he ran 2,000 yards 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Regardless of era.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have Seneca Wallace and Troy Davis on your team?
Yeah. And Alan Lazard and Todd Blythe. Yeah, your team. I think your team's better.
Yeah. And with Jarvis, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the compliment with Jarvis West with those two, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I wish that's one player I wish Jarvis West was on this team.
Yeah.
I think Treek Milton will be better than him.
I don't know. Jarvis was good.
Yeah,
Jarvis was so fast too.
He had a quarterback.
But yeah, if you had a quarterback, also the offensive lines back then. I mean, we're running for our lives, and
there's
a lot of things that obviously we had to work on. But I don't know, don't have those problems anymore, so it's tough to complain.
So yeah, That's all really I got so far. Unless you got something else to talk about.
No, I think.
Oh yeah, we'll pick uniforms. What would your uniforms be?
My uniforms would have been the throwback uniforms from the Iowa State game.
That's exactly what I was gonna pick.
What do
The Sam B. Richardson, like the bubble screens all day long.
No,
that
no,
game.
no. The Philip Bates, when the Philip Bates had a really long
Oh,
catch.
that one. I was picking the other one where Sam B, and we did like bubble screens the whole game. Remember that? We got like no
Were
yard.
those the Jack Trice throwbacks?
Like Iowa player had a sick interception.
Oh,
It was like
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it was a stretch where we went like we beat them 3 out of 4 years. That was the year they beat us at home.
Hmm.
That was the Jack Trice uniforms.
Yeah, no, yeah, those are sick too.
Those were sick too. Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
think
well, I think that's. I mean, obviously, with TJ chilling out a little bit this week, a lot less to talk about. I mean, give us any topic about football, talk for hours. I think that's going to be kind of the theme going forward. Also, our first guest will be coming on the next couple weeks. I'm going to solidify a date, hopefully this weekend, and then we'll announce who that is when we're closer to releasing that one, and hopefully with more guests to come. And
yep.
yeah, we're excited. It's as exciting of a time to be an Iowa State fan, and I think we're still 4 months out from the football season, so we still have a lot of time to rewatch all the games from last year, and then just I don't know. I think there's going to be players that are young that actually play significant minutes, even though our entire roster comes back. I think there's some really talented young players that are going to fill some really key holes and kind of be a little bit of an upgrade athletically. And
Yep. It'll be.
I don't know. It's going to be pretty sick. Full Jack Trice. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it could be a long summer getting hyped up at random times. You almost have to like not think about it. It's like we're like 129 days off right now. And yeah. And like I'm doing these highlight things every day and like it's just like wow.
So ways to go.
Like
I mean,
going back.
once we get inside 2 months though, the hype is going to be real. Like 4th of July hits, and then like it'll be just around the corner.
It's too bad we don't have a video game this year. Having like a top 7 team and a video game, like who would have ever thought that ever would happen?
Yeah, I mean, like a video game coming out this year, like you could simulate the season, and Iowa State could legitimately win the national title.
Yeah. If you'd have told me that when I was like 7, like get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I know.
And it was the same way in basketball, like the Hoiberg era. Like we didn't think that was possible when we were younger.
Yeah, but I mean, like we'd been there, like it had happened before in our lifetime, so like at least we knew it was possible. I mean, with football, it was
like when we were younger, like all we know is like the time we were like, so we thought we are gonna suck forever. Like we sucked ever since I've been alive that I remember. We suck. And then Fred
right. Like we had what if years, we had talented rosters, but we just never could fully put together a top 10 roster, and I think we legitimately have one this year. So I think it's, and I love when the national media is like Iowa State does not belong in the top 10. Like they give a little bit of doubt to Matt Campbell, and that's all he needs.
Yeah.
We don't need national notoriety. I mean, if we're 10-1, 11-0 going into, or 12-0 going to the Big 12 title game for a chance to play in the playoff,
sign me up.
Sign me up.
Like we should just soak this in. Like we never thought this was possible. Just soak it in as long as we can possibly can.
Yeah, it's gonna be
sick.
It's gonna be awesome. We just gotta but like also like enjoy this time where we get to hype it up as much as possible. Like adding more excitement is only gonna help our home games, and only gonna help fans travel to away games and to the bowl game. And
they sold out season tickets for students, like football only today.
That's crazy.
They
There's a lot of students.
they went on sale like last week, I think. They
That's
sold out pretty quickly.
pretty awesome.
Yep. So we'll talk to you guys later, and make sure you subscribe and like, and go follow our Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and
All fun stuff.
maybe leave a comment, maybe a good
One
comment.
comment. Yeah, the first person to comment on this one will buy like a box of Twinkies or Uncrustables or something.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, signing out.